how do I make these people know exactly like where I stand or where I see myself and how I got there. This song for me was like the opportunity for that.
The process of this record was even legendary. My man's Charm sent the beat, and then that shit just clicked immediately. Yeah. People's initial reaction before the song was even mixed or done. Everybody on the record doing their thing, just hearing the verses come together. It was dope. They don't know my name.
Yeah. Buck go off, can't stop it. Bang at the banker, you know I'ma drop it. Buck on the verse, that's a nuclear option, not Russian. To put my finger on the trigger and press it. Buck go off, you can't stop that shit. It's a track about being the legend, so I'm already trying to set the tone with ego and bravado. Dropping bangers at the banger on your ass. This is me metaphorically dropping bombs, which leads right into the next line. And how the political climate of the whole Russian-Ukraine thing, and people thought that might escalate further. It's just like, oh yeah, like, I'm right there. That's bombs over Baghdad, missiles doing front flips, land bad, set you back from rich to ragtag, World War III at the push of a button, set in tone. But know that there's an escalation. Coming to challenge me, I will start dropping bombs on you. Alliances get drawn in, push my buttons, and it's World War III. No frontin', no capping. I tell you exactly what happened. The stories that turned us to captains. Sorrel Sedite, send a nigga like a getaway. Guardy 13 with 2 renegades. Big anime fan, but you already know that. But if you didn't know, I'm referring to the anime Bleach. And in Bleach, there's, the planes are separate. So when the living plane is, you're in the living world, and the soul, the spiritual plane, that's called the Soul Society. But, in Japanese, it's called Sorrel Sedite. So me saying that, I'm going to send you on a getaway to the Soul Society is basically me telling you, I'll kill you and send you to heaven. In that dynamic, in that spiritual plane, in Soul Society, there's a system of guards, court guards, that keeps the peace, so to speak. The entirety of the court guards, they all have captains, and each captain has a battalion, so to speak. So it's just like, we're captains. I can tell you the story of how we got to this level. There's a certain accolade, there's a certain power, there's a certain prestige that come with being a captain level person in the Soul Society. It's emanate spiritual pressure, my enemies carry the weight of infinity. Literally, Bonkai scream, are you hearing it? Try out my pen, ain't no fear in it. Dirt on my name and they smearing it. The weapons that they use in this anime, Bleach, they're called Zanpakutos. You evolve your weapon with skill and time and purpose. Now it's a Bonkai. All of these things play into how I view myself and what I think makes me a legend. I've had people put dirt on our name. I've had people talk bad about us, maybe not like us. Dust off my shoulders, a valuable lesson. Turned a quote to a profession and honestly manifest. Pictured myself above second best, lyrically doing it properly. One of my favorite Jay-Z songs is Get That Dirt Off Your Shoulders. That whole message of just like, people talking down on you, chips on your shoulders, opposition, fucking barriers to success, man. Dirt off my shoulders, a valuable lesson. I will never forget that. And I turned that into a profession. I took that quote Jay-Z said and applied it to my career, applied it to my work ethic and my own music. Manifestation. It's important to speak the things you want, to manifest the things you want. If you want to be one of the greatest, my ambition in life is to be immortal. For that, I need people to know me, to love me, to keep my memory alive in their hearts and in their family hearts and all that. So you got to manifest yourself above second best. You can see by my lyrics I'm doing it properly. Honestly, fated by prophecy. Both of them have a monogamy. No one I fuck on astrology. Honestly, Venture Clan dynasty. Run the ink like a monopoly. Fate, prophecy. To be fated by prophecy is this is a little redundant, but I thought that was cool. So I'm like, I was like, it's fate and it's prophecy. Because I definitely fuck with astrology too. I'm big on horoscopes and stuff. I don't let it dictate my life and what my day is gonna be. But I definitely like to be tapped in and in tune with that. It was a good conversation started. So it's just like, those are where those elements are coming from, where I'm thinking about that. Know that them shoguns play shogi. Shaking my hand, that don't mean that we homies. Fuck on your sister, don't mean that you bro me. Think I'm a sex when she texts that she lonely. Finger guns when shooting for closure. Text one piece like I'm Ichiro Oda. Shogun, leader of something. Leaders usually try to play games that will show them who their opponent is, and I can read you and see exactly where your mindset is strategically and all of this stuff like that. That's something I think everybody should walk with. Just because you shook someone's hand and you feel me, they smile and kiki in your face, I don't mean that y'all friends. I don't mean that they have your best interest at heart. If you shake my hand, that don't mean that we friends. That just means that this is an introduction to us. I don't necessarily know you, and if that's your sister and I'm fucking on her, that don't mean that we bros. That just means that that's your sister I'm fucking. Another one of my favorite animes, One Piece. Boom. One of the greatest stories ever told. I could sit here and give you a whole 3 hour talk about it, but in the show One Piece, the creator Ichiro Oda, yeah, I mean, he writes it. He's a mangaka. He draws it and writes it, and there's like little text bubbles in there. So it's like when you hear me say text One Piece, like I'm Ichiro Oda, that's one piece that I texted Shorty after, she thought she was lonely. She sent me a text and it's like, oh, you think that you lonely, but you sent me a text and I think I'm a sex. That's what that must mean to me. Niggas gonna pay what they owe us. Price on your head, we go up on the quota like double it, triple it, double it, triple it. I feel like everybody puts in their own bones in the game. I feel like everybody feel like they have to go through their own personal stripes and trials and tribulations. Oh, we did the whole pay to play, pay to perform. Niggas trying to rob you in terms of ticket sales and things like that. All of those little milestones that you take in your career, that matters. You go through all of that, people want to play with you, and it's like, yo, when it comes to this booth, to this music, to my work, if it's me or you, and they put a price on your head, oh, say less. We gunning for it, because that's just another stepping stone to success. In my eyes, price on your head, we're going to go up on the quota. We're going to wow you up, double it, triple it, double it, triple it.
Trip to the beach for the photons. Blocking the hate with the Joe Dons. Percentage of rappers I think that could fuck with me look like I'm teaching a dough don. Point one, gold beam, sensei, he say. It's no bigger factor, the movement's the energy. Fit Clan, we the key wave. Trip to the beach for the photons. It's basically just a play on the project title, The Side Effects of the Sun, because the sun emits photon light. Blocking the hate with the Jodons. So Jodon is a high block in karate, so that's how I'm like avoiding, niggas hating on me and shit. In Dragon Ball Z, there's a character named Tien. Like, one of his special moves is the Dodon Ray. The Dodon Ray is literally a single finger and it's a gold beam that pops out. Tying in with the Dragon Ball Z, like, their energy system is called Ki. A Ki, as like an important figure, is like, oh, we the key wave, but also the special attacks in Dragon Ball Z are dictated by the movement you do, which channels your ki. So there's no bigger factor, the movement's the energy. Venture Clan, we the key wave. And the Dodon is also a key wave, so all of that just ties them together. I've been asleep for like 3 days. I've been away for like 9. Lately, I've been on my grind, training the body and mind. Still fuck a bitch cause she fine. That is literally just breaking down my day-to-day, but it's also a sequel to my verse on Know It off of our It Takes a Village album, where it was, I fuck a bitch cause she fine. She on the grind, I tell her time's up. I'm doing better though. I mean, she stay on my back like she Nezuko, but she pray for a nigga like Netero. If she fuck up the money, I let her go. Tying into the last line from the previous project with the I'm doing better though. So it's like to show I'm on the same shit, but it's also a level of growth to it. So now we got the anime shit where Nezuko is, one of the main characters from the anime Demon Slayer. Tanjiro is the nigga with the black and green checkered kimono. He got a wooden box with his sister in it that he carries around because she's a demon or whatever's going on in the anime. But Netero is one of the main characters for a period of time in the anime Hunter x Hunter. The way his powers work is like his strength came through him like doing daily prayers of devotion. Even though Shorty be on my back and it's mad annoying, she prays for me every day. But at the end of the day, if she fucked up the money, I let her go because the money's the main focus. Can't do distractions. These niggas gonna run out of patience before I'm accepting a favor and give them a moment to cash in. Envy exists in the past tense. Made me a name for myself. There's no reason they calling me Cassius. Breaking their jaw, they breaking their habits. Heard I'm too angry, the healing gon' happen in fragments. Deep shadow work like assassins. All of this shit is nice, but the main goal is the money. So once her existence conflicts with that, she's gone. But this part right here is when you working hard, people, they don't necessarily like support what you're doing, but they stay close enough so that way you can recognize that they're around so that they can ask you for favors. But like I'm aware of the people that's around, just trying to profit off of me or like want to get something to benefit from me. So y'all gonna get tired of waiting before I ever give you a favor. Envy exists in the past tense. It's like, this is feelings that they been had. Made me a name for myself is like when Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali, a lot of times like to disrespect him, people kept calling him Cassius Clay. So I remember in the movie Ali, I can't remember who he was fighting, but the dude just kept referring to him as Cassius Clay on some like, your mama named you Cassius type shit. So when Ali was whooping his ass in the ring, he kept asking him, what's my name? Being a legend, I went and made a name for myself, but y'all still try to speak about me a certain way. So it's either you're gonna change what you're doing or I'm gonna break your fucking jaw. But with that response to people, you know, that's when people be like, oh, like, yo, you mad, angry, da da da. You know, the healing's gonna happen in fragments. Like, all the healing and the growth is like it happens piece by piece. Healing happens by doing shadow work, but assassins also do shadow work on like the deepest levels. That shows like, oh, how deep like the healing journey is gonna be, but it's gonna take time. They ain't expect this to happen. Foresight a gift, hindsight a hassle. Foresight is a gift because it's better to have the ability to see something coming than gotta deal with the hindsight, which is like, oh, this already happened and now it already happened. So wherever you at is where you at now. I'd be remiss not to mention the difference is how they don't listen. The sword always glistens. Precision incisions gonna happen with scalpels. The reason that a lot of people are in this position and have to deal with hindsight is because they don't listen. If you look at documentaries and anecdotes from like legendary people, the people around them, their family, friends, or whatever, the recurring thing is like, oh, since a kid, they were saying XYZ, they were saying XYZ. A lot of times, like, oh, people end up having to deal with the consequences or the hindsight or missing out is because they refuse to listen. It's a shiny trinket. So it's like if you've seen a sword, it's like, ooh, so you might be captivated by something else that's not this legendary thing I'm trying to put you onto. A scalpel is a small instrument. It don't got the allure of a sword, but when you need to get something specifically done, that's where you see the value in the scalpel. They never notice that something's amiss till they missing. Like Big Mama cooking, they can't find some shit in the kitchen. She doing the best just to make it without you. You gotta feel the shift. Like it gotta be a drastic shift for them to get it. And most people don't get it until it's too late, which ties into the hindsight. With that, it's like you stood in my way. You being in my way, like I gotta move you out the way. Y'all not gonna realize it until you miss it. Everybody, grandma cook. She ain't trying to run to the store when she in her bag. So she just doing what she can to get the outcome with whatever she's missing. So now you being in my way and I gotta remove you or take you out or whatever the case may be, everybody else that's around you that cares for you is doing their best to like keep going. And that's all they could do. With the Big Mama joint, it's like a play on her being in the kitchen and people emotionally have to deal with your absence because you made the wrong decision, which was getting in my way.
The song came together so nicely, man. This is definitely one of those tracks that you hear the beat and it was just like, oh, okay. I already know what I'm about to do. I remember recording it in the studio, Indie King Studios, and our man's Mike Mitch. Shout out to Mike Mitch, LIE. And he came over, and it was during the mixing part, and he was listening to it, and it was just like, yo, what's going on? Niggas going crazy. And I just knew from there, it was just like, oh yeah, that's exactly the impression I wanted to give, the impression I wanted to make with my verse and the statement, the energy, the delivery, all of that stuff, the captivation of my voice. It kind of just was in that one sentence, was just like, yo, y'all niggas going off.